Guys, I just finished the greatness, dude. Listen, man, I, not that I forgot how good this arc was, but it was nice to get a great reminder, man. And I'll tell you this, the English dub performance by Crunchyroll was absolutely amazing, man. Let me go ahead and start off by saying that Simon's voice acting throughout this entire thing, both the baby version and the version that she has right now, were both fantastic. Fan-flipping-tastic. Loved her voice actress. And her performance as well. But listen, man, this mother flippin' arc, dude. As I'm not gonna get into just in case if someone's watching this for the first time, watching the Shinigami Arc for the first time, and you're watching this, and I don't want to spoil you on anything. Just know that this arc has a lot of things, man. It has a lot of things that you could look back on and be like, man, dude. So, God, I mean, I don't even know where to begin, son. So first of all, this particular arc covers the episodes Reaper by Day, Reaper by Night, Human or Demon, and Farewell Reaper. Episodes 279, 280, 281. And honestly, they go in that order. 281, 280, and 279. Even though 279 and 280 were downright hilarious, 281 has not only one of my most rewatched scenes in the entire series, which is that end scene, and by the gods did they do that moment so well. With Gin and Sogo in the car, it was those type of moments that I was talking about whenever I was saying, I wonder how the dub will handle those dramatic performances. And so far, Michael Dangerfield has completely nailed Gin in serious arc performances. Him speaking whenever he was back at in prison to a Simon. Oh, that was so good. That was so awesome. It sounded like the way that Gin would normally sound in that situation. And Pipsqueak, get out of here, man. Oh, that was nice. I really like the way that Gin's voice actor definitely handled that. Did a great job. But that particular scene there at the end with whenever he's talking to Soko in the car and he's pissed off. He's like, well, why did you let her do it? That, his performance right there was excellent, and it's that type of stuff that I was looking forward to seeing, because at least for me, I already know that they can pull off the comedy. I mean, episode 279, episode 280 had me dying of laughter. The Kagura and Shinpachi scene, whenever they're just kicking Gin's head in the barrel while Asaibo's in there too. God, the voice acting of both Kagura and Gin's parts right there was glorious. The nipple jokes never get old. Never. Never get old. The Bleach references. Let me talk about the Bleach references right quick, because watching this in English and hearing the Bleach references, that in particular hit me way harder than in Japanese. Because in Japanese, I still respected and loved the Bleach references as well as in the manga. But the thing about hearing it in English, hearing like the Bankai, Soul Society in English, and it's because since Bleach, that is how I started Bleach, was with the English dub, and that's what I was known to be watching it for. I've watched it on Adult Swim for so many years. So because of hearing the words Bankai and Soul Society and Soul Reaper and Soul Cleansing and all that stuff in English, then in Zanpakuto, hearing all that in English, it just truly reminded me of the awesome sauce of Bleach on Adult Swim, and it hit home those references much harder than it did in the Japanese version, but that's only because of the connection that I have with the English dub version of Bleach. You know, one of the things that got me into love this medium in the first place. It was my first love. So yeah, the Bleach references definitely dug them more in this edition of the series. And it was such a wonderful experience, man. This experiencing the Shinigami dubbing in English, because all of them were on their game. I've been really warming up to Hijikata's voice actor, because for a while I thought it was solid, but it really wasn't. It didn't really meet my expectations. But after witnessing here the Shinigami Arc, after a couple more episodes that I got to watch from Gender Bend and whatnot. I've really grown to like Hijikata's voice actor, especially in this arc, in the Shinigami arc. He pulled off some really excellent lines that were really nice, and I gotta give props to Hijikata's voice actor. I'm starting to like him more and more, and hopefully this continues, and I continue to like him more and more, because now with the Soul Switch arc coming, which I'm gonna be watching pretty soon, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's gonna sound in that arc. That's gonna be awesome. That's one of his moments, like that's one of Hijikata's episodes, and that's one of my favorite portions with Hijikata. And of course, later on down the line, the day they didn't even cried, but that's gonna be awesome sauce. But yeah, man, the Shinigami arc. God, I forgot how glorious, how amazing some of those some of those shots are, and the way that, because this arc is so unique, and the atmosphere is so different compared to, I dare say, any other arc in the series. Not only does it have soundtracks that you almost never hear in any other arc, it's legit just in this arc, but some of the art and some of the way that of the coloring, and the way that the color palette is used for the flashbacks, with that darkish reddish type of tone, to where it's more like, I don't want to say it's black and white like episode 180, but it has like a very, if you've watched the episode, you know what I'm talking about. But those particular shots were so beautiful to just look at. And it fits so well, and it immediately showed you when you were in a flashback and how serious that scene was. Man, hearing that quote so many times God, dude, dang it, man, amazing. And dude, the soundtracks in this arc, so good, so flippin' good, man. The whole story going into it is so damn good, man. I'll never forget when I first read the Shinigami arc. One of the things that really had me intrigued was whenever they originally announced that Gin was one of the criminals that he was supposed to kill, but he let go. That was one of the things that really kept me intrigued. I was like, yo. Gin, because I always love learning anything that has to do with Gintoki's past. So the moment I saw that line, I was like, yo, man, dude, we might get some more information on Gin's past. And honestly, in this arc, you really do. You get to see how Gintoki got set free from prison in the first place, thanks to this executioner in this particular instance, at least. And he's wearing the same clothes that he does back in episode 11, whenever he first meets Otose, and this was the same exact clothes that he was wearing before he started eating the manju in front of the grave. So that type of connection right there with with the clothes that he's wearing. Once again, going back to Dangerfield's performance whenever he was back in the prison, and just the way that he was acting in there, and it was so good. Anytime that you get to learn anything more about Gin's past, it's always something great. Simone herself and her character, and the entire story with the Ikeda family is such an intriguing one, because there's truly no other one like it in the series, and that's what honestly makes it so special. But if you watch the arc, you know exactly what I'm pertaining to, man. It's so flipping good, and just the fact that we get to, let me actually talk about something else with Nob's voice actor. I'm digging him. I'm digging Nob's voice actor. He sounds like a prick. He sounds like a douche, like a jackass. So I like it. It fits him. It fits him well. His lines were delivered just the same way that you would normally hear him. And let me talk about Takatsugi, man. Dude, the way that he delivered those final lines, man. It could be him, or it could be me. Dude, and you're just like, bro. Oh man, legit, I forgot how good this arc was, man. It's a very, very funny arc, and it's absolutely hilarious, and I love it so much because I appreciate so many of the jokes as a Bleach fan. But man, I'll tell you this, dude. Aside from the comedy, there's just by a storytelling standpoint, and I would get more in depth into it, but I'm not sure if someone watching this video isn't caught up to the series, so I don't want to spoil. But you know what I'm talking about, and if you have at least watched up until where we're at currently in the anime. By the gods, man, the amount of stuff they bring up in this arc pertaining to what we know now is absolutely insane. Absolutely flippin' insane, man. God almighty, but, you know, it's just... This arc is so good. And the way that, you know, it was almost incredible how Nob Nob managed to take out Yaimon, and there at the end, it was just like, I'll only call you ahead, and he just he executes him. You know, that's the way an executioner is supposed to get. He executes him, but at the same time, he by doing so, he allowed Gin and Simon to be set free. I love the end of the episode, and for 281, it's one of my most rewatched scenes. But one of my favorite things about the Shinsengumi, and something I've always loved Gintama for in general, is for little subtle scenes like this, to where Simon supposedly, according to Sogo, whenever we're in the car, we find out that Simon has apparently committed suicide. You know, the way that she was trying to do from the very beginning of the arc. But in this case, Ikeda Simon is dead, because now she is born anew, thanks to being in this relationship with Gin, and thanks to everything that she's gone through here in this arc. Now she has accepted the role of being the 19th Ikeda Yamon, and now she is willing to take on that role, and has officially changed her name to Ikeda Yaimon, no longer to be referred to as a Simon, because this is the burden that she's willing to take from now on, and this is who she is. And I love how the Shinsengumi tackle that, and they're like, well, yeah, Ikeda Simon, she's dead. You know, it's written in the papers, and from now on, if we ever see a corpse around here, we'll know that it belonged to a Baku executioner. You know, we'll just refer to them as corpses, man. Screw it. I love stuff like that, man, because, you know, at the beginning of the arc, they were searching so hard to see who was doing this, and by the end, man, it's awesome. I love stuff like that in Gintama. It's so cool. But yeah, really great storytelling in this arc. A lot of emotions running through. The main points for me, Simon's character is definitely a main point of this arc. Always has been, probably always will be. The references to the future of the series is absolutely insane. The soundtracks, from an anime only perspective, the soundtracks and the little flashback shots and little sequences they have with how different it looks and the feel, it's so damn good. A lot of really awesome shots, man, that you could really use as wallpapers. They're absolutely beautiful. And man, dude, just such good stuff. But definitely, man, just know this. Know that the English dub definitely did this arc justice. For example, even when it comes to a couple of the comedic references, which is a lot of, like, one of the main things that a lot of people were like, yo, I don't know if this could fit over here. But listen, man, some of those, like the lost teat, you know, get it, lost tit, because its nipple got taken, a lost teat. That was a brilliant translation. And Privates of the Caribbean, that was great as well. Just a couple of those that, you know, we would be able to understand over here. Just in general, they're just jokes that you would just be able to get right on the spot. And dude, I love how this arc begins, dude. I just love it. I love how it is. Gin is drunk and he's out there just trying to find himself a drink, but he just starts walking off. He finds someone who's trying to commit suicide. Then Gin's like, well, screw it. Then he ends up injuring himself and her. He takes her back home, and it's this entire story just starts revealing itself. And then you find out that Gin would actually, because he's trying to leave. He was trying to leave their home, because he said, screw it, man. My nipple's been taken out so many times. This jackass is creepy. I'm getting out of here. And then that's whenever you get the bombshell that Gin was actually saved by the former head of the Yaimon family. And you're like, yo. Like, man, what did Gin do, man? Not only what did Gin do, but if he managed, if the other guy set him free, then why did he do it? What did he see in Gin? And it's so amazing how everything just connects to each other, because Gintoki, not only did Simon state that she'd be the one to take Gintoki's head, and later on, you know, whenever I become a great execution, I'll be the one to do it. But one of my favorite scenes is whenever Gin shows up. I mean, post-Joy Gin, man, right before he gets sent to prison. This dude shows up. He overhears her the bastard of a father, talking about basically handing over his daughter. You know, Gin said, we're having none of that. Gin doesn't even know who the hell this bastard is. He just overheard and was like, what? And he bashes his head, and you're like, Gin. Greatness, dude. Oh, and then that scene, dude. Whenever he takes her blade, and he cuts. The way that he nonchalantly does it. A Simon sacrifices himself right there, but Gin takes her blade and just yeah. I love when Gin handles an actual sword, man. It's so sick. Cause I love like Toyo. Don't get me wrong, but when Gin holds an actual sword, you know it's real. You just know it's real, man. And I love it. I love it. It's so good, man. But yeah, in terms of how the English dub did, they did a great job. I would definitely recommend you guys watching the English dub version of this arc. They nailed it. The performances were on point. Dangerfield continues to impress me as Gintoki, man. You guys know how much I love Sugita, and he'll forever be Gintoki to me. But Dangerfield, he is quite possibly the best possible voice that we could have gotten for the English version of Gintama. He's so good, and he does everything so right and so Gin. The way that he speaks whenever he's drunk, the way that he speaks to the Yodozuya, the way that he speaks in very dramatic and serious situations, the way that he did with Sogo right there, the way that he delivered his speeches to a Simon in episode 280 and episode 281, so good, man. You could just tell the tone in the voice, the way that he spoke back in whenever he was in prison to baby Simon. And you're like, wow, man, because he does it, the way that he does it is just so Gin. It's so Gintoki. And it just sounds great. You're never like, man, that doesn't sound like him. It wouldn't be something that Gin does. Every single time, that the way that he reacts is the comedic moments. He's just nailing everything thus far really well. And I'm so happy. I'm proud of this dub, man. I am so proud of this dub. And Hijikata's really growing on me. He really is. So we'll see where that goes. And the next arc is going to be the Soul Switch arc. So that's going to be a lot of fun to go through. But yeah, definitely, if you have not watched this in the dub, highly recommended, man. The Simon greatness and her story, it's so good and so beautiful, man. Who it's the former head of the freaking Simon of the Amon family, man. Who am I to kill you when I'm also a demon? That line is insane, yo. He's like, no monster nor demon. It's a human. It's a human that can free the souls at the end of the day. And you're like, yeah. The way that he says it there at the end, he's like, no, I can't kill you, because what would it look like in terms of justice if a demon kills another demon? And you're like, dude. Like, I don't even know much about this guy, because all we know is that he died. All we know is that he was a good enough dude to set Gin free. He saw something in Gin. He saw something in all these criminals where he didn't want to kill him, even though he's an executioner. And then we know that a Simon took his life, and you're like, yo, man. And a Simon has to carry that burden, and but by the end of the arc, man, thanks to the Yodozuya, thanks to this experience, she accepts the role, and it's such a beautiful story. I love the Shinigami arc. It's so good. It doesn't really have a lot of the players. It's a really short arc. It's mainly just based around the Yodozuya, Gin, Sogo, and Hijikata, and the Ikeda family, and the flippin' the Hitotsubashi faction, and the introduction of Nob into this whole situation. And Takatsugi always lingering around the way that he does, watching stuff go down from the darkness, like the way that Sugi usually does it. But it's so good, and man, I'm so happy now that the dub is also really good. So now I can recommend either the manga version, the sub version, or the dub version for this arc, because once again, Simon's voice actors was on point. Yaimon's voice actor was really good as well. Nob's was great. Takatsugi's is nailing it. But man, tell you, the main cast, Gin, Shinpachi, and Kagura, continue to deliver every single episode, and it's so good, man. I'm really proud of this dub. I'm really proud of this dub, and looking forward to seeing where it takes us, man. But Shinigami Arc, as good as I remember. Once again, another experience. Even though this one wasn't as different, like for the past couple of episodes and arcs that I've been rewatching here with the dub, there are a couple that I can definitely say I had a different experience from the first time. But with this particular dub, aside from the Bleach references, that is the only thing that I can recall I felt much more differently than I did in the sub version. Honestly, This was a very, very similar experience that I had in the sub version. Very, very similar experience. You know, that's how good the voice acting was. Is that it was very, very similar to the sub version. Really good. The dramatic performances were on point. The comedic performances were on point, and it was overall really, really good. And I would highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of this arc and who's a fan of Gintama in general. So I have an awesome today. Thank you so much for watching. This arc, as always, gets an awesome sauce for me because it's goat flippin' Tama, man. What need I say more? Have an awesome today. Thank you so much for watching Gintama greatness, man. The Shinigami arc is just as good as I remember.